UNC Asheville taking on VMI.
We're at the post of VMI tonight, Lexington, Virginia. And already an electrifying shooting night for Brian Brown, who's knocked down 2 threes in the Keydets. And the home white have a 10-7 lead.
He's the team's leading three-point shooter, averages 2 per game. And that time, perfect footwork, squared his body up and knocked down the 3.
Shot blocked by 24, DJ Covington. Bulldogs get it back. They'll try a long-distance shot from the corner. And it's Covington now with a rebound. Glasgow on the push, but Atkinson deflected it and got it back. Jeremy Atkinson from Elm City, North Carolina, about an hour east of Raleigh. The principal scorer for the Bulldogs. Give and go to Meyer. Well done, Trent Meyer on the cut to the goal.
And that's a breakdown on the defensive end. They were working on that today. And shoot around that UCLA cut. They want to bump the cutter.
How can you explain the start of Brian Brown, who has 3 threes in a little more than 3 minutes?
Well, UNC Asheville, that's a breakdown. They know he's their best three-point shooter, averages 2 per game. They can't give him any airspace on the perimeter.
He's right at his scoring average to this point. Keydets with the ball out of bounds. Series history lately has been dominated by UNC Asheville as the core takes a look. 24th meeting. 16-7 edge to the Bulldogs that won last year in the biggest game of the season, 80-64. 2 turnovers apiece in the early going.
Speaking with both coaches today at shoot-around, turnovers. They wanted both their teams to take care of the ball. When you average over 72 points a game, as both teams do, I think turnovers, transition defense is going to be huge in this game.
VMI likes to play fast, and ever since Biedenbach came on the post, playing fast is exactly what the team does, but with a little bit of zone mixed in now and then in half-court offense, things have slowed down. Not to a crawl, mind you, but have slowed down a bit offensively. VMI for 5 consecutive years under Biedenbach led the nation in scoring. Stanner Coyer with a right hook. Covington with the offensive board. 15-9 in favor of VMI, and here comes pressure.
Cunningham is the X factor for them. Averages 3 blocks per game, and you see right there industrious work on the offensive glass.
Hornsby. Keith Hornsby, along with his guard partner Trent Meyer, a pleasant surprise as they lost a couple of key guys in Matt Dickey and J.P. Prim, that team that won 24 games last year. Covington turns it over. With that, a timeout, and Covington shaken up. 15:48 for the first half, and a great start to this point for the VMI Keydets.
Virginia Tech, Virginia at 7, then Alabama, Georgia, Tuesday on ESPNU.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by 1-800-Flowers.com. Wow her and save 20% today when you use the code TV. Jim Barber, Malcolm Huckabee, and a high-scoring start to this one. VMI 15, UNC Asheville 11. Guard Brian Brown of the Keydets averages 8 points a game. Malcolm, he already has 9.
Well, he came into this game shooting 37% from the three-point line. He averages 2 per game, and he's got it going early from the perimeter.
The VMI core of cadets is directly behind us, and they have been rooting on Brown with his terrific start. Keydets go with a trap and full court pressure.
And they will do this, Jim, to try to slow down the pace of UNC Asheville, and then they'll drop back into a matchup zone.
Trent Myers the point. The off guard is Keith Hornsby. Hornsby, open look 3. And tapped out of the air by Okoye. Stanner Coyer has it knocked away by Atkinson. Keydets will retain possession. See how close the the core is to the players on the floor. So they're particularly the Bulldogs are going to get an earful. In fact, they got an earful about 45 minutes ago when they arrived.
Well, I made sure I came out here and high-fived all the guys right behind me right here. They are right up on you. What a great atmosphere.
You're always good at politicking wherever we go. Good bunch of guys here, though, and women. 1,600 make up the core of cadets on this institution's hallowed ground. 15 to shoot. Rodney Glasgow with the ball to Okoye. That's a three. Another offensive rebound, and Okoye another chance. Credit number 24, DJ Covington, with keeping another play alive.
And that's twice now, Covington keeping plays alive for his team. First time he put it back himself. That time he found a wide open Okoye.
Bulldogs able to counter inside. It was a concern on the part of the Keydets that they would attack the rim, and something that was discussed at length in today's film session. Glasgow missing on the three, and the rebound to Will Weeks. Atkinson not close to the goal. Nick Gore takes it out of the air, one of the lone seniors on this team. Here's Gore for three. Inside position to the Bulldogs. Atkinson on the run. Jeremy Atkinson, open court, no basket, and a blocking foul called on the Keydets. ESPNU's women's college basketball starts at 11:30 a.m. Sunday as Tierra Ruffin-Pratt leads the Tar Heels of North Carolina against the Yellow Jackets in the ACC. Then at 1:30, Jasmine Hassell and the Bulldogs battle LSU in the SEC. And at 3:30, sophomore Kalina Mosquito-Lewis leads the Huskies as they face the Blue Demons. Women's college basketball tripleheader. It's Sunday starting 11:30 on ESPNU and also live on Watch ESPN. Mosquito-Lewis the other night against Marquette, 22-6 and 5 assists. Paul, Connecticut coming up huge Sunday at 3:30, and the Blue Demons facing a team that rarely loses in a regular season.
Well, look at that stat line. That's amazing right there. I don't think I ever had a game like that. But back to Jeremy Atkinson. He does a great job of getting to the free throw line and finishing where he's a 79% free throw shooter.
This team the other night, the Bulldogs attempted 32 free throws, hit 28. So the Keydets want to keep them away from the foul line. Third offensive rebound of the game. Not this time for Brown. Making a fourth chance, and Carr is stepping to the free throw line. Joe Carr, senior guy from Houston that provides a lot of energy to this team, say the coaches.
I'll tell you right now, VMI is doing a great job crashing the offensive glass. That's 4 or 5 possessions now that they've been able to get offensive rebounds, and now they're going to get a chance to get to the free throw line.
Duggar Buckham, as mentioned, his 8th season, got the name Duggar prior to his birth. His mom was overdoing the birth, and somebody said, hey, that little Duggar needs to come out. Hence, his nickname that has stuck.
Well, I really enjoyed our time today. He gave us a tour of the whole facility today, and I really was impressed with how he came up with the high-octane offense, and they did it in a restaurant.
The second season after just 7 wins the first year, and he's called his assistants up and said, I think I'm going to do something crazy. What do you think? I'm going to play fast, very fast, faster than anybody else. Weeks across the timeline, guarded by Gore. Now to Trent Meyer, who backs it out near the 10-second line. 19-15 in favor of the Keydets and a high-scoring start. And contact spotted inside on number 14, Carr. Hornsby cut off, has to dish it off to Weeks. His shot blocked. And that shot probably altered by Anglade. Brown inside Anglade, and ball tipped out of bounds, and it belongs to the Keydets. These two teams feature a lot of defensive blocks, and we're going to see some in the first half very quickly.
Yeah, both teams average a lot of points, but they also play good defense. And you see the shot blocking ability right there.
Marshall to throw it in to Okoye. 3.5 student, business and economics major. Turns it over to Meyer, can shoot on the run. Trenton Meyer knocks down his second three of the game. Well, he may be under the weather, but not showing any signs of it.
And that was a deep three right there, and off of a turnover by VMI.
Inside position, shot missed, and a help ball with 12:25 remaining in the first half. Let's take a look at what we saw just moments ago.
Okoye is so difficult of a guard. He goes about 6'6", so you try to put a small guy on him, and he shows the versatility right there. Put the ball down on the floor. He missed the bunny. That's an opportunity, though, that he needs to put down for VMI.
Bulldogs average 72 points a game. The Keydets at 78. So we anticipate the possibility of a high-scoring game tonight.
And that's the way it's shaping out right now. And I do like the changeup by VMI. Go to some full court pressure, back to a soft matchup.
In the Big South tonight, North versus South. Meyer for another three, not this time, and a rebound taken down by Okoye, who, as we mentioned, our one-on-one averages 9 rebounds a game, and he is called for an offensive foul. 862 career rebounds for Okoye, but after a rebound moments ago, a little push-off by Okoye.
Yeah, he got the arm up that time, and right in front of the referee. Those are the type of fouls you do not want your star player picking up.
And Unu's pass picked off. Bulldogs hit 3 of their first 4, cooled down a bit since then, 2 of 8. Okoye. Lost in the shuffle of all the things he can do, Malcolm, is he can shoot the 3-ball. He's pretty good clip at 35%.
And speaking with him this morning at shoot-around, he didn't take any threes in high school, just steadily improved, and each year got better. And right now, he's shooting 35% from the 3-point line.
Hornsby. Hornsby cuts the deficit to 2 at 22-20. Hornsby coming in, averaging 14 points a game, and also provides 3 assists. He can play the point just as well as Trent Meyer can on occasion.
And I really like what he did on that last play right there. Didn't settle for a 3, drove the ball to the hole for a better high percentage shot.
That free throw shot missed by Okoye. Back comes Meyer. VMI's led most of the way, but Meyer's got a chance and completes the opportunity to put his team ahead on the 3rd lead change of the game. Okoye spinning with that right hand, and it's awfully difficult to defend.
And you can see why he is the preseason player of the year, averaging 20 points a game. And what do you do with him out on the court? You put it big on him, he shows off the spin move, little floater in the lane.
Next whistle, dead ball opportunity, and banked in before that happens by DJ Cunningham, who averages 8 points a game and leads his team in blocks with 69. Hornsby tries to keep it alive. Great save by Cunningham. Bulldogs back with a basketball. And ahead by 1. To the elbow. Jumper rimmed in and out. A lot of bodies going for it out of bounds with 9:47 to go. Last year the Bulldogs went dancing. Before they got there, they had to battle the Keydets in the biggest game of the year. We'll look back when we come back to the post of VMI.
That's me last year.
Why is this so hard?
Doing my taxes the old way. Blaming my pencil.
Largest lead of this game, VMI 15-9. That was at the 16-16 mark as a young Keydet looks on. Jim Barber, Malcolm Huckabee, and let's flash back to last year's Big South Championship at the home of the Bulldogs. It was close for a while, but in that second half, the Bulldogs got the separation they needed and rolled to a 16-point win. And with that win, on to the big dance in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the interesting thing this morning at shoot-around, VMI watched a good portion of that tape and some teaching points, and I think a couple of big things that are going on right now is transition defense.
Associate head coaches are Daniel Willis, Jason Allen, and Ryan Maddox. Bruce Hornsby on the eve of the Grammys. The former Grammy Award winner in the house tonight, the father of Keith Hornsby. Dad and son are quite close. Son says, I like my music. I like my dad's music even more, but I love my basketball. And in fact, he rated his dad's performance when he looked back at the way his dad performed at times during the game of basketball. He said, you know, he's 6'4". He could play the forward spot. He could play the guard position. Had a pretty good analytical view of him. And Dad's pushed him to some of his excellence, and says he owes a lot to the fact that his game has really blossomed from his freshman to his sophomore year.
Continually worked, and his dad is definitely an avid basketball fan, and his son is playing some great basketball this year for UNC Asheville.
They say last year when the team played, Bruce came after the game. Of course, he viewed the game in person here, but after the game he came down to the floor, and he and son worked on their shooting outside.
Well, he did, and right here he's going to get a chance to go to the free throw line, where he's second in the country at 94%. That is the last guy you want to put on the free throw line. He is automatic.
In fact, his free throw shooting last year was under 70%. Credits his dad with developing a different style and the most effective one.
Well, I wish I had him in my ear back in the day. That's a big jump, going from 70 to 94% from the free throw line.
So after trailing by 6, the Bulldogs up 4, 28-24.
Hornsby is an impressive player. You know he can shoot the ball from the perimeter. That time he showed off a nice little backdoor cut. But this is really what has impressed me, his ability to put the ball on the floor, break down the defense with guys running at him, and get easy buckets.
7 points in the game for the sophomore guard. Eddie Bedenbaugh was telling us a fun story about Hornsby. He said, you know, North Carolina, among other colleges, might be a place where a young guy wants to play, and yet VMI was, or rather, UNC Asheville was in on Hornsby from almost the beginning. And Roy Williams was talking with Bedenbaugh about it, and he said, don't worry, if it comes down to us or you guys, we always get them.
Where were they wrong?
Handoff inside, shot blocked. Another opportunity for the block, not this time. DJ Covington scores.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has been all over the offensive glass, doing a great job getting extra opportunities.
Foul in the backcourt, 28-26 with 9 minutes remaining in the first half.
This is a nice little dump-off pass right here. Even better defense, but Covington sticks with it and gets the deuce.
First block of the game for DJ Cunningham, likely the first of many. Averages 3 blocks a game, and he is one of the nation's best at shot blocking.
Does a great job of timing shots.
Here's Covington, leaves it short. Check that Cunningham, and a rebound to Covington. Chance for the Keydets to pull even or go up 1. Okoye, a little crossover, and fading, and scoring. He started the game with that move.
And that's twice now. He's gone to the fadeaway, and he gets up high at the elbow, and that's a shot you cannot block with his length.
4th tie. Eddie Bedenbaugh, the head coach of UNC Asheville, says about this team, you know, we're a little more talented, a little less experienced. I think they still feel by the end of the season they're going to make a deep run and get to the tournament. Hornsby knocks down a 3 in a good first half for Keith Hornsby.
Breakdown by VMI on the defensive end. Hornsby wide open on the perimeter.
Hornsby had a game to remember with 26 against Ohio State and 6 threes against the Buckeyes. Runs the break to Hughes. Open look, Meyer. Sam Okoye. Stan Okoye averaging 20 points a game and 9 rebounds. Able to take his man off the dribble moments ago. UNC Asheville 31, VMI 28. Historic Lexington, Virginia at the post of VMI, where pomp and circumstance and commitment to excellence is a part of the course. 1,600 men and women who are part of this great institution start their day with a formation and march to meal at 0700. Then on to classes at 0800, military inspection. At lunch, there is no formation. More classes at 13:15 hour. Then military duty and physical training. Supper, roll call, formation in March. Study period and taps at 23:30. It's an amazing, amazing group of people we've had a chance to get to know in our short stay here on post. And not everybody who signs up here at this voluntary military institute stays, but a good percentage of them do, and after 4 years continue in their great work of excellence with our military. Glasgow on the drive. Hornsby with a pick. Leading to Atkinson, open court, and Jeremy Atkinson slams home. For Atkinson, he now has 6 and his first field goal.
An unselfish play that time by Hornsby, giving it up.
Carr on the drive, a little too strong, and another offensive rebound for 24 Covington. That's his 4th offensive rebound of the game, Malcolm.
And that's VMI's 12th second chance point. And that's been the story in the first half thus far for VMI.
This backcourt of Hornsby and Meyer is carrying the Bulldogs so far. Missed shot inside by DJ Cunningham. Marshall. That would have tied it. Okoye up over Cunningham to get the rebound. And the floater. Stan Okoye doing it all right now. Cunningham is hurt for UNC Asheville.
Well, I'm going to give Okoye a chance to maybe, we're going to see UNC Asheville right here with a transition bucket off of a turnover. But Okoye right here, I think it's possible to get into the top 10 on ESPN highlight. That last play you had right there, he missed a tip dunk, and then he got the ball, hit a little floater in the lane.
His career Big South ranks 10th in points with 1,925, rebounds 5th with 863, and field goals made. He is 6th all-time Big South, 714.
Really impressive and surprising. Not too many teams were heavily recruiting him, and VMI, he felt like he was wanted and came here, and it was a perfect fit for him.
Said UNC Asheville was one of the teams that had considered him, and he considered it. Said that VMI was with him from the start. Six minutes first half. Ten to shoot. Atkinson off balance. A chance for VMI to go ahead. A reminder, ACC Sunday Night Basketball is on ESPNU as Player of the Year, and frontrunner Mason Plumlee leads the Blue Devils against the BC Eagles. Coverage begins with ACC Sunday Night Basketball at 5:30. Then it's Duke versus Boston College at 6 on ESPNU, and also live on Watch ESPN. ESPN's the home court of college hoops. And we have the Iron Man of Boston College at the broadcast position, Malcolm Huckabee. Enjoyed meeting your teammate for dinner after the game last week in Detroit.
That was a fun trip. Haven't seen him since college. And Gerard Abrams,
principal part of Boston College's run to the Elite Eight and nearly the Final Four. Saved by Glasgow. Here come the Keydets. Open three. And timeout, Eddie Biedenbaugh and the UNC Asheville.
nice little up fake right here. Got to the hole. And I like the ability, use the up fake, not settling for a contested three, drive the ball to the hole, and be able to finish strong at the rim.
Rowe averages 5 points a game, shoots the ball 40%, but pretty good at rebounding and assisting. We've talked about some of the wonderful things that the core is able to be a part of here on this campus, and most recently, perhaps the highlight of their young careers, the presidential inauguration. All 1,600 men and women from the core in attendance in the nation's capital.
Only one word to describe that scene right there, and that's awesome. Unbelievable commitment, as you talked about, Pride, and you look at their schedule, and they are ready to roll right here. They are loud behind us.
With some pleasantries for Jeremy Atkinson moments ago. Another turnover. Glasgow with a basketball. Matched up against Trent Meyer. Last 9 games, 8-1 edge to the Bulldogs. And can the Keydets make a change? Okoye continues to hit that off-balance shot from the elbow. How do you defend it?
You can't. I think you need to double him. When he gets the ball on the elbow like that, and he goes. Right now, let's figure out what the stoppage of play is. I'm not sure if it was an injured player.
With Okoye's basket moments ago, he has moved into the number 5 spot on VMI's career scoring list with 1,929 points.
Jim, you asked, how do you defend this right here? Well, it's so long, and that's a beautiful step-back jumper right there. I think the only way you can defend that, go double him. Get the ball out of his hand, make sure your rotation is good. No matter who you have on him, you are not going to defend that.
Down to 4 minutes in the first half. Hornsby and Meyer against the 2-3 zone of the Keydets. Free throw line when Nunu gets inside.
UNC Asheville did a great job breaking down the zone. The soft spot is the middle. One more pass down below for an easy deuce.
Well, Nunu's dealt with hamstring injuries, knee problems, but healthy as we speak. And the outside official will call with 3:32 to go. Entertaining first half so far. If you look at the VMI core of cadets. After VMI, Stan Okoye hopes to play professionally somewhere. He's putting on a show tonight with 15 first half points.
Well, with the mid-range game like he does, and the ability to step out on the three-point line and knock down shots, and then this right here is this pretty, I believe he has a chance to play at the next level.
Averages 20 points a game. His career best is 39. Terrific student, 3.5 GPA. Business and economics major.
Very well spoken. Enjoyed our time with him this morning at shoot-around. Good head on the shoulders. And you look at the schedule that they keep, they're up at 5 o'clock every morning doing something.
We asked Okoye and DJ Covington if you had to do it all over again, because that first year here is rough, very rough, in terms of how you're treated as a rat, which is the term that's applied to new kids on this military post. He asked him if you had to do it over again. They hesitated for a moment, smiled, and said, yeah, I'd do it over again. Not for everybody. That's a given.
No, it definitely takes a special type person to go through this program.
Keydets with 7 personal fouls, just 3 on the Bulldogs, and Atkinson got the matchup down low he wanted, and Jeremy Atkinson now has 8. This is a difficult matchup when he's posting down low like that.
And they need to get him some help, but I like the move by UNC Asheville. Go to the zone, and I think that's going to take Okoye out of the offense a little bit here. Get them some help.
Also, when you go zone, the problem is your defensive rebounding can suffer. Not on that play. A lot of playing time, a lot of minutes for both Meyer and Hornsby. Head coach Eddie Beanball wants to play others, but he said our margin for error is slim, and we want to win games. Swatted into the first row. Here's the block by Covington. His 3rd of the game.
Right at his average. He averages 3 a game, and right here, Atkinson with the spin move, and he says, not in my house. And that's just beautiful timing on the help side.
65 blocks on the season for Covington. Off the hands of Hornsby. And saved by Hornsby somehow. To Weeks. Good hustle by the Bulldogs, and Meyer converts it into a 3-point basket. It's a fun up and down game on both sides.
And Meyer has got a nice looking stroke, and that time that's an unfortunate break for VMI. Loose ball situation, and they give up an open 3.
This game has a 100-point pace to it, doesn't it?
I sure think so.
Off of Meyer. Good save by the Keydets. With 1:51 remaining in the first half.
Both teams average over 72 points per game, and they're definitely going to break that mark if they keep going at this pace.
Probably was a day when VMI, upon Baucom's arrival on campus, where 72 in the first half wasn't unreasonable.
Well, that's amazing. The teams in pass for him averaging 100 points per game. I don't care what level you're at. If you average 100 points, that's some pretty good offense.
Full court pressure. Hornsby past Brown and bumped by Brown, and Hornsby. Let's see, it's going to be a blocking foul, the outside official. Petritus did make the call. Tim Comer did. He looked at Comer, who had the better position, and Comer said that's a block.
I don't know. Let's see. That's a tough one right there. I think he still was moving a little bit, and I'm going to give the referee underneath the hoop the benefit of the doubt. And it looked like he still was shuffling a little bit. And Hornsby is going to be on the free throw line, where at one point he made 45 in a row, and his average 94% from the free throw line.
Played 40 minutes the other night. Spent some time in the offseason at basketball camps besides getting some direction from his dad. By the way, he's got a twin brother, Keith Hornsby, who's a pretty good runner at the University of Oregon. Middle distance.
And his dad is, from what I hear, a pretty good basketball player himself. And obviously a hoop fanatic, and his son is putting on a clinic from the free throw line this year. I think a lot of guys would like to have whatever advice he gave his son to go from 70% to 94% from the free throw line. He might be able to make some money in that business as well, too.
There's Bob Catherine on hand as well. Life of 30 years of Bruce Hornsby. Largest lead, 6 points for the Bulldogs with 1:40 left in the first half. This is a 9-0 run. Who's going to try to break the streak? Who else? Stan Okoye has 18 in the first half. He is nearly at his scoring average. Meyer to Wanunu, spinning inside and throwing up the right hand and missing. Okoye, 7th rebound. And free throws now for Glasgow, and a chance to pull VMI within 1. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney is a season-long spotlight of games that will impact the tournament. Monday night, battle for statewide bragging rights. Big 12, Rodney Magruder and the Wildcats against freshman Ben McLemore and the Jayhawks, who have lost 2 in a row. Kansas State and Kansas Monday at 9 Eastern on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. So look at Rodney McGruder averaging almost 15 points a game and 5 rebounds for first-year head coach Bruce Weber.
Having a fine year. Bruce Weber got these guys going in the right direction. And back to Okoye. Grabs a big rebound, leads the break, unselfish with the basketball, and it leads to 2 free throws for his team. He does it all. I am very impressed with his all-around game.
And you think he can play the next level?
I do. When you can shoot the ball the way he does and defend, I think he's got a shot.
Atkinson rolls in a basket with a left hand. Jeremy Atkinson reaching double figures in the first half. $44-40 in favor of the Bulldogs. They won the Big South Championship 80-64. Free throw line, Carr. Anglade fights for the rebound, so does Okoye. And it's Dan Okoye. And his team will use a timeout before losing it to the break. Coming up at halftime, the College Game Day crew will explore how hard it is to win on the road. Just ask Indiana about that the other night. And any team that seeks to be #1. Also, we'll check out the stats and first half highlights for a pretty entertaining first half. To the NCAA news and notes. How about this finish last night, Malcolm, where Illinois outscored Indiana 13-2 to win on a Tyler Griffey layup at the buzzer.
Well, March Madness is ever creeping up on us. Unbelievable game.
Kansas in a midseason slump, losing to TCU with a BPI of 224. And the Miami Hurricanes, their highest ranking #8 since 1960.
That was my sleeper team coming out of the ACC. Balance all around, and Shane Larkin is having himself a great sophomore campaign.
And who can forget the victory over Duke in a blowout and a 27-1 run in the game against the Blue Devils.
Unbelievable.
Last possession in the first half, potentially, with VMI controlling. First half, the Keydets with 11 offensive rebounds to stay close. Point guard Glasgow with 10 to shoot it. Gets a pick from Okoye and drives to the goal and kicks. Well-designed play. First half in the books and a good one. And Stan Okoye leading his team with 18 first half points, and the VMI Core Cadets on hand to enjoy. 44-43. It is halftime. Back to the post in a moment.
And you.
Halftime for the post at VMI with a performance by the Cadets moments ago that was, in a word, breathtaking. 44-43 is our score. Exciting first half. To the Big South scores a couple nights ago, and the tournament to be held in